Hey guys, Ted from Nerdarchy here, 4 nerds by nerds, hanging out with,
Nerdarchy Dave.
and the gauntlet's been thrown down. Will your PCs survive? Hey guys, jump down to the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with us.
So guys, we're going to do a video for you, and I have no idea what it's about. Ted mentioned some stuff, and that's what we're going to talk about.
All right, so in movies, TV shows, whenever you get involved with a training sequence or gladiator-style combat where there's something beyond the actual fight itself that comes into play. For instance, when you watch Gladiator and Maximus is in the fight along with tigers that are on the outskirts. Well, that's an easy one because the tigers could just be making attack rolls. But what about in scenes where the floor moves?
I got a good one for you.
What you got?
So it goes right along with what you're talking about. In Troll Hunters, there's a duel between the Troll Hunter and the son of the predecessor.
That's one of the places that I did see that it was, spurred the idea on this.
Yeah, like they're fighting and the platform is shaking and moving and there's spikes shooting out of places and whatnot. And so in that case, it really is like, how would you do that in a game?
Exactly.
Do you have any ideas? Because I do.
Well, I was looking at it that you would be able to do kind of like a lair action, and as opposed to a monster having an effect, the area itself shifts and it's forced movement. So you'd have some of that going on, as well as whenever you're needing to make moves, you would have to be making acrobatics or athletics checks, kind of like a skill challenge-esque situation.
Yeah, so this is kind of percolating in my brain as we talk right now. And so as soon as you kind of said that, at first I'm like, well, what about a random table, die 4, die 6, die 8, die a million, whatever you like, I don't care, right? You roll it, and that's the effect that's going to happen, and the players the players and the monsters might have to deal with that. But then I was like, Ted had said skill challenge. How do we make it like a skill challenge, right? So instead, what if you have a list of effects that could happen, whether you random roll them or pick them, and then you go, okay, you have to make a check, right? And, normally it's going to be athletics or acrobatics, but if they can justify using a different skill, you could allow that, whether it's arcana, history, nature, whatever, depending where they're at. If they can find a way to tie that into what's going on, even, perception, whatever, you let them figure it out. So what happens? If they pass, they don't have to deal with any ill effects. If they fail, first failure, maybe it just, okay, you get disadvantage on your next attack. Your opponent can get advantage against you. Whatever you decide what this is going to happen. It could happen to the bad guys too, unless you're being a real jerk as a DM and you're putting out a gauntlet that only really affects the players. Because it could, you could be fighting ghosts and okay, stuff moves. It's a ghost that doesn't really care. But so generally skill challenges is X amount of successes before X amount of failures.
Correct.
So what I would say after X amount of successes, and it's probably going to be short, right? Because you're probably only going to make one check a round. So it might be three, you might have 3 successes before 3 failures or something like that. And I would have a mild effect if they fail. If they pass, nothing happens. Once they've hit that, whatever you decided the number is, just say it's 3, they figured out the gauntlet and they no longer have to make checks. The stuff is still going on and you can describe it. But if they fail, then something bad happens. They're going to literally take the effects of a trap. And perhaps every round, every round they have to keep doing this until maybe it's a skill challenge in the sense that as long as you keep accumulating failures, you keep making checks. So it doesn't really end until you've hit the number of successes.
The other side of it is it could be more of a combat against the team. So it's the PCs versus the NPC team. So it's not so many successes before so many failures. It's so many successes before the opposing team's successes.
Okay, like a little bit of a race, yeah.
Right. So if the goal is 5 successes, whichever team gets there first has control of the gauntlet.
Oh, Yes, you could absolutely do that. Or you could do something like where I said before, hey, you figured it out, but instead of that, maybe you figured it out, but because you beat the enemy team and they haven't, like you just like maybe you basically wipe the field as the DM. You describe all the trap stuff happening to the bad guys, and they don't actually have to do the combat to get they don't have to finish the combat.
Right.
The traps do.
So there's a number of different ways that you could wind up getting towards an end.
Exactly. And there's different ways you could do the gauntlet too. Like, is it physically like a little obstacle course that they have to get through to the end to solve, or is it just something that's going on, while they're fighting? Like this is just some messed up crazy room where arrows are flying, axes are coming out of the wall.
It could be literally the ground is this massive set of gears that move and grind similar to what was in Troll Hunters. It could literally be a magical menagerie where magical effects are constantly going off that you're trying to dodge and avoid. It's like, okay, well, I missed the sword slash from my opponent, but I got nailed by a magical ball of fire.
But what if the gauntlet's not a gauntlet? What if they're in a giant clock? Right, and it's just that the inner workings of the clock is doing what they do, and the players just happen to be there, and they don't know. And one, you're in combat, so you're paying attention to the guy trying to stab you, just as much as you are like things moving around and swinging. So you could even flavor this thing as not a trap gauntlet per se, but it's just the way the environment is.
So what I'm seeing now is a colossal clockwork golem that is coming to a town to destroy it, and your pitiful weapons are not strong enough to actually defeat it. So you must get inside and shut it down. But the creatures inside it, like Modrons or something, are its defenders. So you have to get into where the shut-off thing is to be able to turn it off, but the Modrons are going to stop you.
That is an awesome idea. And it's not even like they even are aware or care or know about what's going on outside. They just have a job to do. There's trash in them. There's trash in here. It can get sucked into the gears. We have to clear the trash out.
Indeed.
Also known as your adventurers. So what do you guys think? Would you use this thing in your game? And what would it look like in your game? What incarnation? Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can hang out with us over on Facebook.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.